how's everyone doing? We're back over here, Project Cavalier. Looks like this video is going to be about changing the oil pan, which I plan on showing a lot more information than what I did in my last videos on this car. I think I was way too vague in those videos. So at any rate, yeah, transmission, I mean the oil pan's coming down. It's still leaking, as you can see. I'm using my phone here. I didn't feel like going to get my other camera, plus the batteries aren't charged. Yeah, so let me get the light here. So here it is. Most of the bolts are pretty easy to get to. Let's see if we can show it here. Yeah, I got to take out the starter. This bracket right here. There's two bolts supposedly holding it on this side, two bolts holding it on this side. But I got to take off the air conditioning pump here. I'm not going to disconnect it because the lines, because it does work, the air conditioning, so I'm not screwing that up. I should be able to tie it off to the side or something like that, and I'll show you guys exactly how I did that. I found a nice little diagram on the internet, so I'll put that in the middle of this right now. So yeah, that was the diagram of that of this. So yeah, that's got to come out, and then the oil pan should come straight down. They're 10mm bolts on that side. This side, I'll see if I can get the camera over here so you guys can get a better look. Oh, the inspection cover has to come off. Oh. Let's see if I can position myself over here. Okay, let's see. Anyways, there goes the bolts here. They're all pretty easy to get to. There's not that many on them. And there's two. Let me get the light here. Sorry about the shakiness. Figures. You see that one right there? There's one underneath that bracket, and there's one on the other side underneath that bracket. That's why that bracket has to come off. And you can see where the AC is held on by one bolt. So, right there. And then there's another one on the other side. And then I should be able to move that out of the way to get to the two bolts holding this bracket on. Let's see. You got this right here. Mine happens to be broken off. But normally you would have to take this, loosen that too. This comes off right here. So when I put the transmission in the other videos, this will just swing right down. So you just take these two bolts off, let it go, draw it down. There's two bolts on the other side of this bracket, which is gonna be fun to get to those, but we'll see how it goes. Another thing I'm going to do, if I can get some light in there, you can see the crankshaft seal is leaking. So I got the seal. We're gonna probably change that too at the same time. Let's see. Let me come back up here. All right, now we're on this side. This is gonna have to come off, all this right here. Pretty easy to do. Yeah, and that's it. Take that all off. I mean, I can disconnect the strut when I get to do the seal over here and move it out of the way. I mean, it's easy enough to. You see the two bolts holding the strut? I got an impact gun. You just take them right off. Hit the bolt out with the hammer, and it'll just fall forward, the hub here, and then this will just move out of the way. I may or may not need to do that. As far as up here goes, I was thinking about pulling the alternator off just so I got more room down there, but excuse me, I'm just getting over. I had pneumonia for the past couple of weeks. But at any rate, I may or may not pull the alternator off. I don't think I have to, but if it makes things easier, well, yes, I will then. Same goes for the power steering pump right here. In order to get to those 2 bolts for the bracket, I'm gonna see if I can wedge my hand up there and do it that way, but I think I'll be able to, so I don't think I'm gonna have to mess with the power steering pump. But just in case, that's something you may have to take off. And yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna draw a diagram of the Serpentine belt routing, because I don't see any stickers on here. And I want to make sure I put it back, you know, it has to go back the same way it came. I'm looking at the tensioner down there. You can't see it, but it looks to be original, so I might change that too. We'll see what happens when I get it apart. So yeah, that's it. Gonna change the oil pan gasket. Velcro cork gasket. That's all I could get from the parts store. I didn't bother going to the dealership or even looking online. $18 I think this thing was. Front seal for the crank. Throw them on and see what happens. You know, this is the $300 Cavalier here. We can't spend no real money on it. So, going cheap as possible. Although certain things like gaskets aren't exactly, you know, you really shouldn't cheap, especially the oil pan, something difficult to get to. But hey, it is what it is. Anyways, I'll update this next time when I make some progress over here. Alright then, so until then, bye. Alright, man, we're making some progress, just a little. Update it as I go. I pretty much took off the cover that was right here, and then the wheel well cover over here. This one you probably don't have to take off, but it does give you more room to see, and it just makes it more comfortable to work on. Let me put it that way. Some good news is, I was worried about how I was going to get to the bolts to this bracket. Right here on the inside with all the tranny. You could reach them right here. Straight up there. Let me see if I can show you guys, so that anyone that's ever doing this, at any rate, they're right there. I'm going to, you don't have to, but I'm going to get what's it look like, a 13mm socket, and just pull off this bracket that holds the brake line, just to give me a little bit of room. As far as the front seal, yeah, it looks like she's leaking pretty good. Let me get the light better on that. Yeah, it's a mess. So, that's where I'm at there. The only other things I got underneath here are to do is, I'll show you the starter real quick. So here goes the starter. Inspection shield, looks like 10mm bolts, 1, 2, and there's one on the side, 3. Then the starter. Let's see if I can get a nice close-up on the wiring. When I put the starter back in, when I did the transmission a few weeks ago, there's on the top big bolt, there's 3 wires that connect to that, whatever you want to call that, to that bolt, to that nut and bolt. And then there's just one tiny wire for this little one down here. So you got 3 wires going out to the big one, 1 wire on this one, and this over here, that's like some kind of ground or something that goes into the starter itself, so you don't have to touch nothing with that. So that's it. So I'm going to pull that off next. Get the starter. Starter comes off. I'll probably disconnect this next. Let's see. And I'm going to have to go make a copy of the routing of the Serpentine belt. Get that done so I know how to put that back together. The tensioner looks original. Let's see. Yeah, the tensioner looks original, so I'm probably gonna go replace that too. They're like 15 bucks usually, under 30, so it's worth every bit, especially when you're like 100 miles away from your house. So we'll take care of it. There goes the oil leak on the crank seal. I mean, it's not as bad as to where it's actually leaving a drip mark on the ground or anything, but since I'm here, I might as well. And we'll see how this pulley comes off. From what I read, you just knock it off. You don't even need a wheel pull or anything. We'll see though. I happen to have a pulley puller, so either way, it's come out. It's definitely coming out. All right, so yeah, let's see up here anything. Here goes the wheel well, that other cover. Kind of tedious to take that off. Let's see, here goes all the nuts and bolts. I should just say the bolts. And the plastic clips. I live in the northeast of the United States, Connecticut. So everything was rusty. So I put the bolts right, everything right here. And soaked them with WD-40. They'll be nice and fine when I go to put them back in. If you're watching my other videos on this car, the steering shaft, when I removed the subframe to put the transmission in, I broke my, what do you call it? My steering rack, my intermediate shaft for the steering wheel. What happens is I lowered the subframe so far that this actually slid out. And I put it back together, not realizing the orientation of this side and this side. So I couldn't get the steering wheel straight. And on top of that, this is supposed to go in and out freely. It doesn't move, so I had to use the vise to put it back together so it doesn't slide in or out. So I ruined that one. So I had to go buy a new one. It's already installed. So just an update on that if you're watching the other videos. I'll be working on this. Alright, next time I come back when I have something relevant to talk about, we'll go from there. Alright, bye. Alright, we're back here. We got some progress done. I'm going to finish up for tonight. Yeah, it's been about an hour out here this afternoon. Something I wanted to note on this. When taking the serpentine belt off, a wide ratchet will not work. 3/8 drive. This is the thinnest one I have. And this barely fit in there. Enough space to actually move the tensioner to remove the serpentine belt. It's a tight fit. I'll show you right here. Let me go underneath. I think is the best look. Yeah, I pulled off the serpentine belt from underneath the car. Let's get down there and take a look. Alrighty. Alright. You see up there? You have the frame. Then you have the at the end of the tensioner. That's where a 3/8 drive would go in, and you would pull down on the tensioner and take the belt off. But if you look between the space between the frame and the tensioner, there's not much space. So you need a really thin 3/8 drive ratchet or a 3/8 drive breaker bar. If you got the breaker bar, you could do it probably from the top. But only having a 3/8, I don't have a 3/8 breaker bar. The only one I have is a 1/2 inch, so I would have put that on my to-buy list, 3/8 breaker bar. So I put it down here, a ratchet, put a pipe on the end of it, pulled it down towards the floor of the bottom of the car, towards the floor, and came right off. So, but it took me a little while to figure out what to get in there, and I had to finally find a thin 3/8 drive ratchet. So, yeah, a little bit of a pain. There's some oil there. So we got the starter off. Put some light over here. Came off easily. You can see where a leak is. Well, maybe not. But it's back there. So, there we go. I got this off too. Take a bolt off right here. It just comes right out. And it still wouldn't drop. I had to loosen this bolt on this side. So once you loosen that, just a couple turns, this just fell right down. So that was easy enough. I took the bolt out of this right here, or I had that clamp, that broken clamp that was on the exhaust. The bolt came up through this almost to here, so I took that out, so it'll be that much easier to remove this bracket or slide it out of the way. I'm draining the oil right now, and I'll leave it like that, let it drip overnight so it's empty, and then tomorrow afternoon, I hope to have the transmission pan off tomorrow afternoon. I got to remove the air conditioning here. Try to find a place to the side. mount it with some bungee cords or zip ties or something. Yeah, and that's it. Then the pan's ready to come down. Hopefully the pan's good. I don't have to order a new one. I'm going to put a level on the edges and we'll see what happens. And we'll go from there. So yeah, that's it for right now. Next time I'm back is when we got something, some progress here to report on. Alright, overall it's been, just let me add to it, it's been an easy job. There's nothing here difficult. If you could change spark plugs on a car, transmission fluid, do that sort of thing, you could do this easily. Just make sure you got the right jack stands. I got the big 6-ton jack stands. And don't get anything, as far as jack stands, Harbor Freight stuff is garbage. You'll get killed using their stuff, so make sure you go somewhere else for some jack stands. These are from Tractor Supply, so I feel safe with them. Alright, so yeah, it's an easy, so far nothing's been difficult. So, alright, and that's it. I'll update later on. Bye. Alright, hey, what's up guys? I'm back at it. It's the next day. I did a little bit of progress here. Just to show you, I pulled off the alternator so I could get a good look down here. I gotta pull off the air conditioning unit, or I gotta at least disconnect it from the bracket that was shown earlier in the video. So that's gonna be next. I'm uncertain at this point if the exhaust has to come down, so I, what do you call it? WD-40, a couple bolts here, just in case I have to take that out. Lower it to get the oil pan out to clear the oil pump. Alternator, pretty easy. It took 4 bolts to take this thing off. It was on there. The bottom one was a pain. I also took the bracket off that was holding it. If you're doing this job, you don't need to pull the alternator off. You can do everything while leaving the alternator on. I just took it off because I never did this before on this particular car. And I wanted to get a good look in here and see what's going on. So that's the only reason why I took it off. It's not like if I was in a hurry for the car, no, I would have skipped all that. I would have just got the job done. At any rate here, so, yeah. I'm going to pull the AC compressor, unbolt that. I think there's 3 bolts. Let's take a look. No, let's see. You can see it right here, the AC thing. There's 2 bolts in the front. And there's 1 bolt back here in the back, which has to come off. They look like they're 13 or 15 millimeter bolts. So let me get that done, get a little progress made here, and let's see if we get the oil pan off tonight. You know, I spent about an hour, a little bit over an hour yesterday. I have a little, it's Friday night, so I actually got a few, I can spend some time out here if I choose to. So we'll see how far we can get. Alright, that's it until I got an update. Alright, bye. Alright, we're making some progress here. Got the AC compressor all unbolted. I have it hanging down there, or resting on the bottom of the radiator support. You can see it right there. When doing it, there's 2 bolts on the top. You're going to have one here, one here. The one up here, you can take off from up here. You just need a short socket, 15 millimeter. Or a long one, I should say. And the ratchet will go past the pulley. The socket will, I mean. The other one you got to do from the wheel well, which was pretty simple, no issues. You go right in. It's right. It's supposed to be tucked up there. No problem. Oh, I unplugged my light by accident. Hold on, let me get my light back in. All right, I got all my lights plugged back in. Let me go underneath and give you guys show you. There it is, hanging down. Let me turn around. Let's see. You can see the cradle up here. This is where it's supposed to sit up in there. And it slides right down, so that was pretty easy to get to. Now, see if I can show you. Now you can get to the 2 bolts up in here. And I'm trying to get this camera where you guys can see in there. Hold on. See the bolt on the top left corner? That's the first one, and then the other one's laying on the other side of the bracket in the top corners. So pretty easy to get to. It shouldn't be too bad. They're 13 millimeter. And I'll show you the other bolts for the other side. Dad, we're getting to take the bracket down. Let me just push this light over here. Put that up over there. You can see exactly what you're getting into. Now, let's see. That's one of them. And the other one's above it, right there. So there's two bolts right there that you can get in through the wheel well over here. And yeah, and this should drop down. I'm hoping it'll drop down and slide out towards me. We'll find out in a few minutes, put it that way. Alrighty, so yeah. When you go to do this whole job, it's a good idea to have an assortment of sockets, long and short. As far as ratchets, 3/8 dries. You're going to need real thin ones, and then you can have regular ones, but make sure you have thin ratchets. Different size extensions. Metric wrenches, because I had to use a wrench on a couple of the bolts here. And that's it. Everything else is just going smooth as can be right now, so hopefully we'll have the pan off in a little bit. And I got to do the crank sensor too, so I got to pull this pulley off right here. So I might do that first. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Well, I know I'm getting that bracket out of there first. I want that gone. Alrighty, so yeah, that's it for now. Update when I get a chance. Bye. Alright, I'm back. We're making more progress. We got the bracket out. It's pretty grimy. Have to clean that up. Let's take a look underneath here. Came right out. Here goes the leak up front here. I got to show you something over where the front seal is in a second. But anyways, now the pan's ready. I just got to do the bolts, and it should just drop down. I'm hoping I don't have to take the exhaust off, or at least the front from the manifold. I'm hoping it'll drop down, then tilt, and just slide right out. Ideally, that's how we'd like to see it go. We'll find out here in a bit. Let me show you something up here. Let me get this light over here. Alright, if you really look in there, you see that gray stuff? This front seal was actually just changed, it looks like, recently within the past owner. Because I noticed someone put RTV in the back of the oil pan, and someone put RTV in the front up here. So they tried to cheap it out by just they replacing the front seal and RTV and around the front gasket here. Didn't work, of course. So I don't think I'm going to change the front seal, if that's okay. It was just done. It looks fairly new. And you can see the gray that's inside the seal itself. So I'm probably going to leave that. I'm not going to touch it. If it's in there, it's new, it's good with me. I'm happy. So we'll leave that alone and just change the oil pan gasket. One other thing I was thinking about, since I got all this access down here. Water pump's right here. And it looks to be original. I might just for the hell of it put a new water pump in on this thing. We'll see. I'm not certain on it yet, but that's it. Alright, next step is I'm going to pull down the pan and wish me luck, and hopefully it just drops right down and we're good to go. Alright, well, that's it for right now. I'll update when I got the pan out, or unless I run into some trouble. Alright, goodbye. Alright, I'm back. After cleaning this up and looking at it, that's the original OEM seal in here. In the front, crankshaft seal for the front. So I'm going to go ahead and change it. I did clean it up. Here goes the mess someone else did. They put that RTV there. So yeah, that's the original OEM front seal. Someone just put goop in the front of this. Just because they're goose, they don't know any better. So, there you go. We're going to change that too. I just found my pulley puller, so we're good to go here. Yeah, let's... I'm going to probably pull the front seal and replace that first. Then do the then pull the pan down. Because once I got the new gasket on, I don't want to put no stress on nothing. So let's just fix it now. Alright, bye. Alright, to get this pulley off, you're going to need a... harmonic balancer kit, which I happen to have, so just to let you know, when you get to this part, it's a little bit difficult. See if we can do this one-handed. Got my impact on. Is it coming or is it not? Alright, finally got it off. This was a hassle. I had to get I have an harmonic balancing kit. But let me tell you, this took some working to get this off. It's never been off before. So I guess they never did change that seal. They just put RTV around it. And there is a keyway here. So you got to make sure when you put it back in, you can't really see it, but there it is. Yeah, that was a pain. It was a ratchet gun that saved me. Air gun, I mean. Pneumatic air gun. If you're going to use a ratchet, you got to find a way to lock that from spinning. So just keep that in mind if you go to do it. I had a 1/2-inch drive and I was having a hard time holding it still, so I could turn the bowl forward. The impact gun pulls it out. You gotta try to take it off, then go back in, take it off, go back in. He did that about maybe 30 times, and it finally popped off. Let me tell you, it did take some work though. So be prepared for that. That'll be a pain in the neck if it's never been off the car before. Sorry about the shakiness here. Yeah. So next step is gonna be the I gotta pull that old seal out and pop the new one in. Let's see how far I get tonight. Alright, bye. Alright, I'm back here. It's the next day. Let's see what's after dinner there. I guess last night I never came back out. But at any rate, I got the seal out. Here's the old one. That's the new one next to it. We got a bit of a problem. If you look here, there's a piece of this metal seal that's broken off. And I don't see any way of getting it out. I'll pull the timing chain cover off, but I'm not about to do that. I looked online, and there is a gap in the middle of that regardless, so I'm just going to leave it as is. So, yeah, that's it. We'll leave it just like that. So I got the new seal. Bottom line is I got to put a little oil around it, put it in there, and I have this long socket. Put it like this, and then bang it all the way in until it seats. I got a couple different hammers here, and that's it. Front seal is done. Yeah. So that's a pretty good, pretty simple project right here. So let me get to it. All right. Bye. All right, we're back. I got that all installed. Pretty nice. Alright, so that's it. Next part is this hub. I sanded down the inside. Let's see if we can see it. Got some emery cloth. Just cleaned it up. Put it in there. So basically just sand it up. And I put a drop of oil in there. So we're nice and ready. So now I just gotta bang it on. Got the keyway up here. Keyway here. Alright. Alright, so now I gotta start banging this in. I'll update as soon as I'm done. Alright, finally got this hub back on. It was a pain in the neck. I put it on backwards at first, then I had to pull it all off again. I wasn't paying attention. At any rate, that's all done. Now we're gonna take off the oil pan. And if you look down there, and then over here, it's just a bunch of 10mm bolts holding the pan on. I'm going to get my ear ratchet out with a long extension and just pull all the bolts out and then pry down the pan. And then we'll take a look inside. Alright. Yep, so that'll be it. Let's see if I have to pull the exhaust down. You guys will see that. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping this will just slide right through and we're good to go. We'll find out here in about 5 minutes. Alright, bye. Alright, got all the bolts out. Pretty straightforward. Used an air ratchet, no problem. The bolt back here in this very corner, sorry about the shaking. Anyways, the bolt back in this corner over there needed a 10mm quarter-inch drive. And the rest of them were able to use just a regular 3/8 air ratchet. She's ready to come down. Let's see what we can do here. Oops. Hold on. See if I can mount this somewhere like this. Coming out. Yeah, it looks like it's stuck up there. There we go. Hope you can see it. Exhaust has to come down. Fuck me. That sucks. No way around it. Well, it's a good thing I WD-40'd it yesterday. Yeah, I just think I had the tranny out. This thing would have came right out. The transmission wasn't in. Shit. Alright, so let me undo the exhaust. And, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alright. Alright, sorry, I didn't get to show you guys the pan when it dropped down. Bottom line is, there's two bolts right here for the exhaust. I took those two bolts off, this dropped instantly. And the pan just fell right down and right out. So when you take your oil, one thing I noticed by exhaust, I had to put a milk crate underneath it. It was really stretching the bank 2 or the post-catalytic converter O2 sensor. So you gotta be careful with that. I hope I didn't wreck that wire. I don't think so. But anyways, yeah, so I got that standing on there. So that's it. Here's the engine. Don't look bad. I don't see any metal bits or anything bad here. Nothing to be concerned about. Well, here goes the pan. I think I'm just going to go with the new pan. I'm going to try cleaning this up, but someone's been smudging RTV in this thing like you can't believe. Pan's no good, bottom line. I got to order a pan tonight. Yeah, so that's it for now. When I get the new pan, we'll go from there. So, yep, stay tuned for that. I'm going to call the parts store. If they have one around here locally that's cheap, I'll go with it. If not, I'll get, I know they got them on Rock Auto for like $45. So we'll see what happens. Alright, until I get the new pan. Alright, I'm still here the same day. I've been looking at the oil pan and underneath the bottom of the engine. Like I said, somebody else messed with this before. That's all someone else's RTV. This is the original pan it looks like, because it's all rusty and everything. But whoever did this, they never put a oil pan gasket. They used this, the rear seal. So that's in there, but anywhere around here, they just used RTV. And my experience on an oil pan, usually not a good idea. A rear differential cover, fine. Maybe a couple other little things, but valve cover, you can do that too if you don't feel like buying a gasket or don't have one. But to do your whole oil pan without a gasket, no wonder why this thing, you could not fix the leak on the thing. Huh. Anyways, I just ordered a pan, $67 from the local parts store here. It'll be here on Monday around 1-ish, which is good. So I'll get to this back to at least get the pan on Monday afternoon. Or hopefully, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so, yep, that's it so far. Next will be when I have a new pan. Alright. Alright, what's up, fellas? I'm back. Let's see, it's been a little while since I last worked on this. Today's Wednesday. It's a nice 60-degree day outside. I think the last time I worked on it was Friday. Took a few days off here from it. I was kind of busy. But anyways, we're back at it. I got the new oil pan right here. Nice. New gasket. I got it all sprayed with the copper gasket. It makes the cork gasket last a little bit longer. So you should be able to get 10 plus years out of it easily. Sprayed with this. Alright, so the only thing I got left to do is put this on the pan, and I gotta go clean all the old gasket RTV off the bottom of the engine. So I'll show you that in a second. So I'm gonna get this new oil pan set up, and I'll let it I'll RTV the gasket on one side. And while I'm cleaning the bottom of the engine, that should give this enough time to set. Alright, so, yep, be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. I got the gasket on here. How's that for a contraption? Got all screwdriver. I got RTV on one side. I gotta say, this Felpro gasket does not fit that good. There we go. Where's the rear main seal? After reading the instructions, I see that the rear main seal gets attached to the bottom of the engine. I gotta take a look at that. Where instead of placing it here, it says mount this directly to the engine. So that's what I'm gonna do. Got some gasket remover. I'm gonna go down here and I'll show you guys the big mess I gotta clean up. That looks like that's drained as she's gonna get. There we go. So let me get this in. So I gotta get all that off. And that's where they want the gasket installed directly to this. So I'm gonna have to try that. Clean all this gasket off. Yes, I got a nice mess here. This will take a little bit. And then by the time I'm done doing this, that should be set up pretty good, the oil pan. And we'll slip her in. So, that's where we're at for now. I'll update once I get the pan on. Okay, bye. Alright, we're making some progress. Pan's all set, ready to go. Gasket's on there. So, let's see. Rear main seal. We get a long screwdriver. The rear main seal goes in. Oh, there we go. So this rear main seal goes in right up here. You can see right there. I gotta clean that up a little bit better. But the rest of it came out pretty good. Yeah, so let me get this in and I'll be right back. I just want to show you where I put the rear main seal. Alright, so it's up there, no glue, no nothing. I didn't even put oil on it, and somehow it's staying up there. It took about 10-20 tries, but finally it's up there. It doesn't look like it's going to fall. So, yeah. Now let's just put the, I gotta take the dipstick out. Put the pan on and see how she goes. Wish me luck. Alrighty, we got the oil pan in. All set. It was kind of easy. Went right up. I'm hoping the rear main seal stayed in there. I looked as hard as I can. It looks like it did. I can't see anything that's messed up. Just starting to put it back together, getting the bracket ready. Take a quick look underneath. There it is. Not bad. We got the front up here. Alright, it should be good. Yeah, next time I turn the camera on, it'll be when it's done running. See if she drips or anything. I torqued everything down to about 13 pounds. All the bolts all the way around. So yeah, that's it. All done, all set. Really not that bad of a job. It just seems like it at first, but nah, no big deal at all. Anyways, I'll update and see if there's any leaks. Alright, that's it for right now. But alright, job's all done. Finally. Got it started today. It's a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, no leaks, no problem. Nothing is fine. I took it for a ride around the block. Yeah, so that's it, man. Job well done. It's running good. I gotta put some fresh gas in it. This thing's been sitting for a while. Other than that, yeah, she's all set. So there you go. Garbage, all the garage is somewhat cleaned up. So yeah, that's it. Hope this helps anybody that had to do a oil pan. All right, bye.